Good day ladies and gents, and welcome to the third episode of Inkwekwezi's Umtiza forest walk. Now, one of the first things I'd like to start with is actually to give you guys a little something to think about. So if I had to drop you guys in this forest, now you can see everything sort of looks the same. You don't really know where your direction is. You know, I've taken your cell phones. You can't use the compass on your phones or GPS to find out which way is north. All I tell you is your campsite is north. You can't see the stars. You can't use the sun. You just gotta sort of use the plants to find your way. What would you do? So one of the most common theories that I get given is you can look at the moss on trees. So I'd say it's very close. What you would look at is lichen. Now lichen, if I can show you a good example here, if you look on this branch here, you can see lichen has many different shapes and forms. You get nice light green colors, sometimes you get a little bit pale orange, you even get black lichen. Now lichen is a symbiotic relationship between a fungus and an algae. Now there's no harm done to the tree that the lichen is attached to. They also attach themselves to rocks. It's just a good environment for them. Now generally lichen will grow on the south or southwest side of a tree or a rock, but in a very dense forest they can grow all the way around a tree or all the way around a rock. Now that sort of messes up your way to tell direction. Another thing you can look at is this lovely flower on the ground here. Here's a lovely example. Now you can see it's a beautiful purple color. Looks almost like a trumpet in shape. Now I know you guys can't feel this, but the leaves are very flat and furry. Lots of little hairs, soft hairs on the leaves, which is very characteristic of this plant. Now this plant is called a Streptococcus primifolius, otherwise known as a wild Gloxinia, or Cape primrose is a more common name as well. So these plants will only grow on the south side of a slope. So you can see the slope is actually going down towards the river. You'll see a lot more of these Cape primrose growing along the banks here, a lot of them in the area. So because they grow on the south side of a slope, you know that your direction is south, north, east and west behind us. You also see a couple of cycads growing in the forest here. This specific species is called a poor man's cycad because it is the more common species of cycad that you'd find in South Africa. And knowing cycads, they can actually fetch a lot of value on the market. This one being so common, being referred to as the poor man's cycad, because you obviously don't get a lot of value for it when you buy it or sell it. So if you have a look over here, this little fern you see wrapping around a lot of plants. This is called a wild asparagus climbing fern. Very, very pretty fern to see out in the forest. Now there's no real traditional or medicinal uses for it. but it is used quite widely as a decoration for weddings. On the tables you see a beautiful bright green. Lovely plant to see. See how it wraps around here. So they also do no harm to the plants they wrap around. It's just to give them extra elevation. Okay, so that will conclude today's episode. Please tune in again tomorrow for the follow-up of the walk.